I'm a huge fan of Dragon Ball Z. I've played most of its video games, read the manga, watched the anime more than once, and I love its characters, storytelling, and creative fight scenes. It's pretty good stuff. I also like Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, but regrettably, it is terrible. It's largely a parade of flashing colors, funny sounds, and superficial fan service meant to evoke the nostalgic joy of DBZ, and while it succeeds at that, it's an otherwise dreadful game. The core of Kakarot is an open-world action RPG wherein you gather items, train your characters, watch a shonen space opera, and eventually tackle larger-than-life boss battles. In reality, it's a flaccid button masher with little love for its source material. From moment one, it retells the classic storyline clumsily, with half the heart, wit, and drama. It also introduces new filler elements not present in the anime or manga, which fail to capture the tone of either. But hey, that's a problem with a lot of DBZ games, so how's the gameplay? Well, it's basically a facade, a very convincing facade at that. There are a ton of RPG mechanics like stat buffs from food, individual skills to unlock and upgrade, and a comically complex character relationship system which determines your combat capabilities. But none of that matters. You want to know how you win at this video game? Check if your health number is larger than the enemies. If it is, mash the fight button. If your health number drops below the enemies, use a healing item. The game will pretend that there's nuance and strategy here, but there is not. I completed most of the fights while mashing the circle button and checking my instant messages. I'm not exaggerating, but hey, if your thumb gets tired, my patented backup strategy of spamming rapid key blasts over and over seems to work just as well. Needless to say, the gameplay is very insulting. Like, these characters are supposed to be fighting for their lives, and as a video game, Kakarot's job is to translate that struggle into interactive format. So the fact that I can completely zone out like this, it's utterly inexcusable. It feels like the dozens of gameplay systems were slapped together without any regard for balance, or worse still, maybe the studio was aware of how busted the balance is, but they left it alone because they figured the sheer amount of mechanics would distract players from the shallow end result. And hey, given how successful Kakarot is, it clearly worked. But even if we ignore the fighting and focus purely on the open world activities, things aren't much better. There are some cute references, sure, but that's what it boils down to. Cute references and busy work. The actual side quests are soul-sucking. And although I completed as many as I could find, it was mostly out of obligation to the brand. Like, one of them is straight up going on a chore to resupply someone's fridge. The main quests aren't much better either, since they still involve running around squinting for sparkles to harvest. In a game with any artistic rationale, that would be fine, but here, it's plainly padding for content. And I guess that's what Kakarot as a whole feels like. It's just content. Something I chew on absently, which certainly isn't soulful, but provides momentary distraction. Do I want to play more of it? I mean, yeah, but I also want to eat more fast food, and neither of those are good for me, or my heart. Also, if anyone's curious, yes, I set the game to hard mode. You're seeing hard mode footage right now. It did not make a difference.